The thing is, I feel like a lot of people suck up to Dan on Farcaster, so you need someone to like balance it out, keep it interesting.
I'm not sure if you have your coffee with you and your spicy sauce. So
I actually don't.
do you have anything next to you, Hirsch, that you
All
can?
right, I might have some leftover Chinese, like the packets that they give you. I actually do have one of those.
Yo, throw it back, dude.
The standard Chinese takeout.
Do you want to make a shot of it?
I'll just do it out of the packet. All right, fuck it. We'll do it for the fans.
If you want to do it, you can do
Dude,
it. I think
the fans need it.
I'm actually curious just to see what this tastes like. That is very bad. Oh my god. Well, how long is this? Like 30 minutes is gonna split it up. But that is spicy though. It's like a delayed kick. This is what founder mode is all about. Being resourceful.
Yeah. Who do you think is the least skilled person? You, Dawufi, Eddie. If it's not something you want to answer, you have to take more spice.
Least skilled in what sense?
That's up to you.
I have a lot of respect for Eddie. I've learned a lot from him, but he's on the investor side of things, which I think is not as active as it is like being a founder or like working in the trenches as a startup, right? The VCs would like agree with that. That being said, he was like a deal partner for the founder of like Spruce back in the day. Now like manages the whole research team. I would go me, Dawufi, Eddie. This is the ranking I'm going for. Just because I think like VCs only exist because there's people crazy enough, like crazy like Dawufi and I, willing to like start a company and just like be in the trenches.
You can tell we're not fundraising. You can tell. Wait, hold on. Has anyone asked you guys to rank each other yet? Who is more skilled?
Oh yeah. What about between you two?
What kind of skills we're talking about?
It's up for you to decide.
Yeah, thinking that I have more diverse background. I think that's the reason why I probably have more skills.
You have your answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have made him do a spicy shot first, maybe.
Well, we have to make a
I
shot.
don't mind of doing the spicy shot, to be honest.
But let's make the drink because I prepared my ingredients. I have my pineapple juice, Reaper sauce, the one that I choked on.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Some lime juice should fix it.
Dude, I love when I see European size things because like everything seems miniature compared to the US.
Yeah.
What's the meanest thing you've done in your life?
The meanest thing that I've done in my life?
I'm getting
Yeah.
hot sauce. I'll be back.
Okay, this is actually one I really regret, but there's like a girl that was like in our friend circle, like freshman year of college that I just did not like. At some point, I just decided to tell her that I made it clear in like a passive aggressive way that I did not want to like hang out with her. And like sometimes I'll get a flashback to that and I really regret it. But it was certainly a mean thing that I did. But she was like really nice too. This is the counterbalance that makes it a whole lot worse. She wasn't even an asshole.
She was interested in you and you were like basically ditching her off.
Well, I didn't want to be associated with her publicly. Let's put it that way.
Say the
But I
similar
told
story.
her that. Then that's like why it's so mean.
That is fucking mean.
I really regret it. I regret my actions.
I don't have exactly the same thing. I have something similar. It's not the meanest thing I've ever done, so I'll still take my spicy shot. But there was this girl in one of my classes, and she just offered to do all my homework and was turning in assignments for me. And then one day, one of her friends was like, "So what do you think about so and so?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, would you want to go on a date with her?" I was like, "Oh no, absolutely not." They're like, "What?" They're like, "Why are you letting her do all your homework?" Then I was like, I don't know. I thought she just liked doing my homework. She stopped doing my homework after that. Unfortunately, I won't say the meanest thing. I have Belizean habanero sauce.
Okay.
Well, what about you guys? I mean,
I hope you wouldn't ask.
well, I'm always gonna ask.
It's kind of weird that I think the similarities of the stories, but a little bit different. Maybe there was in a friends group, there was like a new girl. I was a bit mean when I said I don't want to be friend with you anymore. When I finally had a chance of getting rid of her, but I'm not gonna say what was it. It was bad.
I think I've also done other stuff, but I will still take a sip because Taco knows some things in relation to guys. But we're not
Yeah.
there.
I don't think that you did mean, but probably they think differently.
I think
Yeah.
guys have like too much expectations though sometimes talking to girls. So
I think I was actually really mean.
okay. I got one for the nerds. A story that'll make the nerds happy on Forecaster. When I was in college, there's a guy who was doing some computer science final. He left his computer open, and in his like lib files, I set true equal to false. So basically, the compiler just switched out true and false, which is just make all your code completely not work. He could not figure out like what was wrong.
That's fucked up, dude.
I thought he would figure it out, man. I thought that's like some standard deductive reasoning. You could come to the conclusion that it's interpreting true as false, but
Actually, you know what? I will tell you the meanest thing that Hirsch has ever done to me, because it happened an hour ago. We were on a call with a partner, and he asked me last night to come on this early morning meeting. And then we get through the whole technical part of the call. Hirsch is integrating, doing all this stuff, all this great work. And then the guy goes, "Oh, Dawufi, do you have any questions?" And I literally say, "Yeah, I'm the BD guy, so we do have to talk about money at some point." And Hirsch just leaves the fucking call.
Well, I would have stayed for that, but I had to I had to get ready for this, like hop in the shower.
The guys were literally like, Hirsch went full autist. He heard the word money and just left you here by yourself.
It was a 30-minute meeting, and it went over 10 minutes at that point. I think I'm justified to dip when... It's just a sign of how much I trust you, Dawufi, actually, right? We only need two people to be on a call.
Do you think, Hirsch, that Spoken Dan is this unresolved
desire to be hired?
Or do you desire to be approved by Dan?
I mean, he invested, so as like a founder, that's like probably the highest grade of approval you can get. He is like a big hard ass, though, I will say. He just like has no mercy about any situation you're dealing with as a founder. It's just like really cut and dry, which I think is a good thing, actually, is like the attitude that you need. So I have a lot of respect for Dan, but I think he is like a bit of a curmudgeon asshole sometimes. He, like when I say something is a good idea for the Farcaster future, he'll be an asshole about it, but then a few months later, he'll like ship it. I have to point that out.
They're just like strong personalities who really actually understand how to capture a narrative much better than most other people. And like some of it sort of comes naturally to some people, and some people have to like think about it. I actually have to like think about it very deeply, which makes me good at like teaching it and explaining what I'm doing. And some people just really know how to like it just happens. Like they capture people's attention. And I'm always in Slack. I'm messaging her. So like, yeah, dude, go off, gig. Like, go fuck with them.
Are there parallels between you and Random Arrow?
It's been a while since I've tracked him. I've actually beefed with Random Arrow quite a lot, and I've beaten him in arguments. I can go dig up those threads. So I'm pretty sure he avoids me these days. I guess the difference is who I am is publicly known, so I'm not just like an anonymous character hiding behind the reputation of someone else. There's actually consequences for me, right? Like Dan has muted me actually a few times in the past. Like when he came on the podcast was like a stretch where he muted me.
I'm not Random Arrow. Stop looking at me like that, Paul. Most of I'd say 80% plus of the company has like some amount of Random Arrow energy. That's my honest take about our internal Slack comms.
Red flags or green flags?
For founders?
For founders. Wearing hiking boots and long sleeve flannel shirts at 95 degrees at a conference?
Oh, okay, here. So it depends on why this is being done. The reason I did that...
Did you?
Yeah. Okay. I moved to New York in the fall, and I became a founder really quickly, and I just did not do any shopping for clothes. So it's literally all I had to wear. So what do you want me... It's either that or I go naked, basically.
Yo.
I'm too lazy to go buy clothes, so I'll deal with the pain of heat.
Green flag.
So I think that's a green flag for sure.
Green
that's
flag,
a commitment. That's
but,
a commitment right there.
But next conference,
no matter
you
how
have no
hard,
excuse.
how hot and sweaty it is, you're sticking through it.
We're like outside, desperately drinking like cold water and cold coffee, trying to like stay cool.
Hire a photographer to take your new Bumble PFP during your speech.
Oh, I actually know a founder that's done something much worse than that. This is what I was thinking about.
Who and what?
You don't have to name the person.
Okay, no, I don't want to say it. You would definitely know this person. I've actually never used like any online dating platform, but I'm guessing your actual pictures are very important. That's like most of what people are indexing on. And especially if you're a founder, optimizing your time so you get two things done at once, I think that's a green flag, actually.
100% disagree.
Okay.
It's a huge red flag. Why the fuck are you on dating apps? Go build your company. No time for dating. Why are you even thinking about what you look like? I don't care.
All right.
You got shit to do, brother. And that's how you know Hirsch is like, personally, I don't give a fuck. But it'd be okay if someone else did. It's like, you're like, yeah, but that's why those other guys can't raise capital. And like,
actually, Eddie has taken a great photo of me during a talk.
this raises the question, should Eddie go up on the skill chart because of his photography skills? I think
Yeah.
we can revisit that one at a later date.
Giving tongue scraping courses or classes in your free time.
There's like better hobbies you could probably enjoy. I think talking, shit posting about it is fine, but giving classes, this is not something you need to teach. You could just record a video. If you can't figure it out from that, you got bigger problems to deal with.
Dawufi?
Yeah, I mean, agree with the obvious caveat or exception that if you are founding a company that is giving, like if that is your company, then yes, you should be locked in and giving courses. But unless that is exactly what you were trying to build, it is a red flag. You should not be dating. You should not be teaching. You should definitely not be shopping for clothes.
What about talking on conferences?
This is unironic, and I hate to like phone it in. This is a yellow flag. It definitely depends on where you are, what you're talking about, and who else is there. There is plenty of good reasons to be on stage that can really drive a company forward. In my humble opinion, the vast majority of founders get on stage and do not actually help their company at all. I will say that many of them hurt their company by being on stage. And I don't just mean by the opportunity cost of not building. I mean, they like say dumb shit, like they have bad takes, like you would have been better just like being in the shadows, brothers.
How can someone get your attention in an instant?
Having an interesting ZKTLS use case, that's one that always gets me excited. I can probably get a little bit too excited when you just like randomly run into someone and that like a good idea comes up.
I've had to like cut Hirsch off like on podcasts. Or like, I mean, one kid came up and like now he's got like a funded company that like literally just like ran up to us at a conference and Hirsch's like, all right, I'm leaving with him. I'm like, okay, bye. He's like, I'm gonna go introduce him to all the angels so we can get this thing built and shipped in a month. I'm like, do whatever you. I'm like, I'm going home. It's like midnight. I'm fucking out of here, bro.
I helped convince his mom to let him drop out of college too. Like that's how committed I am.
What makes you lose your patience?
Intellectual dishonesty, not caring a lot about what you're doing, and just being wrong, like having the wrong opinion. I think is just annoying to deal with.
I was gonna say for Hirsch, it's stupidity. Like if you say stupid shit, he's no fucking. It's actually a good way to get his attention, though. If the fastest way to find the answer to something on the internet is to like post the wrong thing and have people come, like do that in person with Hirsch, he will fly off the handle.
What would ego death look like for you? And how do you think your behavior would change if you took ayahuasca, if you haven't already?
How would my death look like for me?
No, ego death.
Oh, I've already been through this, actually.
Give us the summary on that.
It was an interesting experience for me. I had not researched it at all before. I just like made an impulsive decision, had to deal with the consequences. I actually grew up really religious. This sets the context for it, for what actually happened. Like the religion that my mom is in is basically like a centuries old version of the Inception, essentially, where this life is a dream and then when you die, you wake up like in the real world. But there's like a big emphasis on awakening and like living a moral life. That's how I view it. It's like a monotheistic religion. But I grew up as a diehard atheist. I was like one of those people. But when I went through this particular ego death, I felt like I actually met this God that my mom believes in. And it was like a really confusing experience, actually. It's pretty intense.
What changed?
I think growing up, I was a bit too dismissive, in particular about the religion that my parents are in. But because of the experience, I did it like a bit more like reading about it. And I think I actually understand it a lot better in the context that's around it.
Yeah, I also, it's funny, me and her talking about this in Thailand. We actually both experienced ego death, which is like, I don't know, I say fairly uncommon, but maybe says something for the way he indexes for hiring. Mine was a very intense experience. I was very certain that it was all over. And that's a very, very strange feeling to be wrapped up in. I ended up calling my wife like 73 times in an hour or something like that because we were in a cabin in the woods and like there was zero fucking reception. I like literally didn't talk for like 24 hours afterwards. Just sort of like pacing around, like questioning things internally.
It does feel like you're dying for sure.
Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, it's ego death. I'm like, it feels like regular fucking death. Like it's really strange.
Yeah. There's actually a trick to make it easy, by the way. The trick is to just think about something or someone you love. It becomes a whole lot easier, actually.
It's hard when she won't answer the phone, Hirsch.
Yeah. The other part of it is your memory. Like you basically forget who you are too, so you're not going to remember this advice, but that's actually the trick.
Some useless advice from Oil of the Garage as the bombshell for the last question.
Who do you nominate to join us next in Los Fomos?
I actually don't think Eddie would be fun because of like the size of their fund, and if you ask him a spicy question, he'll probably give you a boring answer. Vinny and Noah, how about you have a duo? Do you know Noah Citron and Vinny? Like two young researchers at different VCs. They're just really cracked young researchers and engineers that will make you optimistic about the future of crypto. Great personalities too.